morning everybody. Been a long time. I haven't done it in any little videos for a while, but I'm going to have to ask, I'm going to do this little video just while I'm here. I've come to get some tyres. I'm 8426. There is another number as well, I can't remember what it is, but I found two. There's a load of them, different ones. I went round and sort of decided which ones I want. There's one really good one. I mean, it's not perfect like brand new, but it is good. The other ones have got a little bit less tread on it, but it's not split. So we're going to get them. 100 quid each, can't complain really, because it cost me 400 quid each. At least to get the tyres. These ones I found, 100 quid each, they're the same as the originals. And obviously with them just a bit perished, they suit the Gleaner C combine, you know, they fit in. Look a bit funny with brand new ones on really. And for the work we're going to do, it'll be alright. You know, because they're diamond platinum Goodyears, which I think that's what it would have had original. I think it's got its original sound, but unfortunately that's down to go, and Luke is a little bit sort of concerned about it. But as I say, I'm just going to do little videos. I've done some photos as well, just to show these little combines and that. This is a place I used to work at back in the day, back in my misspent youth, very seriously misspent youth. And but you know, it's good to come back here and see the things. I mean, all this field, all this, what you can see here, it wasn't full when I was here. When I used to work here, it was all at the back. I got loads more stuff. But this, an old class console, and it's sort of basically, it's the, from my knowledge anyway, it's the last sort of their sort of Columbus, Europa, Mercury sort of line. It's the sort of the final sort of straw of that, if you know what I mean. It's the one that sort of ended that sort of design shape with the engine there. And allegedly they make quite good money. They're quite a rare combine really. You know, I don't think it was that many about from what I can tell. But quite a nice combine really when you think you've got a decent enough view of the header. This one certainly needs a loving touch. But actually I went to see somebody the other day. Terrible name's Daniel. And he's got a surname as well. I can't remember. But yeah, nice guy. Went to see him actually. He goes on the outreach in Bedford and helps out the homeless people. Well, so helps them out, speaks to them, tries to encourage them, and there's a group of them giving food and that. I'm thinking of going over there to do that because I've got a bit of a heart for those kind of things, you know, because like I say, I had a misspent youth, and unfortunately it didn't end up horrendously badly, but you know, it could have done. It could have done. You know, I've got a heart for those kind of people. You know, it's a shame. It's trying to get them to see sense, to be honest, is the biggest thing. Because why would you want to live on the streets, really? You know what I mean? There's a lot of people don't have vision, if you know what I mean. They don't know what they want to do. They just don't. They don't have a clue. Unfortunately, I've got interest in this stuff. I love it. It's really good. It's a blessing, man. I'm telling you, it is such a good thing. I'm so glad that I don't know many people who have this interest, you know, or just similar interests, like, but it's great. I enjoy doing this, you know. So yeah, there's a Columbus with a burnout combine there. Again, I can't publish this if I speak to him, you know. I understand completely if he doesn't want to. I did a couple of videos that someone's found the other week, and I thought they'd be alright with it. I didn't publish them. Unfortunately, for him and me really, he got in touch with me and let me know. He messaged me and said, please don't put them up. And I was like, okay, you know, it's a shame really, because I'd like to have done it, but you know, if you don't want it, you know, who am I to argue with that? You know, you've got to respect people's property, ain't you? You know. But I quite like this. See, I'm not a massive tractor man. Yeah, I'm not a massive tractor, but I reckon that'll look a lovely little thing, you know. I mean, I don't know what he's doing with it. I should imagine it'll fetch decent money. But I reckon that'd be a good little project. You know, you go around that and just fine tune it, keep it in its original condition, give it a good clean, brighten up the paintwork and that. That'd be a nice tractor, man. Really good. Not that I know anything about it, but I just like the look of it, you know. This is a tyre I found. It's actually a Class Senator, a 70. Fine machine in its day, I'm sure. Puny little flipping transmission compared to what was in the Gleaner. It's similar sort of thing to what they had in their Ransoms, that sort of size. But there you go, look, got this. Right, so I ain't got it yet, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, it's still got decent tread in it. I'll just go up here and show you. There is a massive combine over there. Let me just show you this. There's all nice cabless John Deere 965 probably. Not a little Dominator. Clayson 1520. Yeah. Lexan. Not a very good one anymore, but it was Lexan. Still got plenty of pad spares on it. It's I don't know what they got. I don't know what they call it. Is that 150 Landlord Laverda? Yeah, big old combine its day, I would have thought. There's a top liner, Deutsch. That looks like a big 985 John Deere there as well. Get a bit closer for you. There you go. There's more van. Move on. Just think, 20 years ago, most of these combines would have been hammering in the acres. There's actually some kind of cotton picker there. There's a big Lexan 460 by the look of it. That's in his patch. That's what I want to show you. Look, I think that's a massive 760. Let me see if I can see the moon plate without getting covered in water. Ah, it's a 750 or 760. Ah, it's got a red cab. I reckon I know that one. That's such a shame, that is, because I think the red cabs were Canadian built ones. Oh, and it's such a sad story. When I was a kid, when I was at school, I used to go, I've got a friend called Rob Mumford from school, and his dad, he's got your older brother as well, George. His brother's called George, older brother's called George, and his dad's called George as well, like George Mumford. And they had a bit of a contracting business going with a few massive combines. He's had all sorts of combines, but when I was at school, they were still running two 750, and then they bought a couple of 865, 860. But that sat in the shed for a while. A lovely combine, and the bloke he bought it off bought it back, and I was working here at the time, and there was a lot wrong with it because it'd been left with straw in it. It got all damp and rotted out, and I helped him strip out one of the 750s that was in the backfield here, and it's such a shame, man, because he wanted to get it back working again, and this is life at the end of the day. You know, you've got to take every day as it comes, because one day you're gone, and mate, that's how it is. It's scary, really, isn't it? But you know, let's just enjoy what we got, because one day it'll be gone. This guy, you know, just doing his project, wanting to see it working, shot his motorbike across the field, and it did something that locked up on him. Flipping gone, mate, dead. You know, he ain't coming back. You know, all those dreams, all those ambitions, mate, gone forever. Sorry to be so morbid, but you know, it's shocking, isn't it, when it happens? And I think, sadly enough, that's the machine that he was doing, and it's actually quite upsetting me to see that. You know, I know it's only a combine, but you know, I remember that when I was, I'm sure it's the same one. I remember that when I was little, and yeah, it's not nice seeing it like that, because it would be a good combine. It looked after well, There's a massive 400, I think. I think it's a 400 anyway. Yeah, it definitely looks like a 400, an early one. Doesn't look like it's going to be doing much work recently anytime soon. There's a little M135 there, look, somewhere. That thing there beyond the digger. So, just I didn't put a video up of it. Last weekend I went to visit, like I say, local Daniel. Oh mate, I was blown away. This guy lost a lot. He lost his dreams in a fire. You know, like I say, I was mentioning him. He does outreach now. He goes to church, right? I went with him because, you know, I think church is a good thing because it, you know, whether you believe or what, it doesn't matter. Going to that community has helped me, because I was mixed up in some wrong groups, you know, there's nothing against those people, but, you know, they, at the drop of a hat, they were like, you know, they weren't interested in you, they wanted the party. Where in the good times they were there, the minute you're flipping down and out, no one's interested. Whereas that ain't true in the church. In a good church community, you know, you don't get that. You know, there's people out there generally want you to do well. Then why wouldn't you want to know them? But anyway, I went to see him, but this guy, Daniel Barber, that's his name, amazed me, the ambition and the vision this guy has. He picked up a Massey 21 and he goes, yeah, I'll do that. Massey 21, and I'm not kidding you, every part of it needed replacing, right down to the chassis frame. I mean, it was like, I would look at that and think, no way, not me, mate. Mate, that's to me, that's like, I might never see the end of that. I just like the light projects, and I enjoy that. But yeah, fair play to, if you can do that, that's some good stuff, man. That's quite impressive. That does impress me. Anyway, I will show you. These are the tyres. Right, on here, there's a New Holland Baler. Look, there's a Class Dominator 85 and a Class Senator 85, and I must say I'd prefer one of these. I like the Senators, but I think these were a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more clout to them. There's a little 950 or 970, one of the early ones. The later ones had a 5. That's a what they call it? Yeah, that's the top liner. There's the thingy for it. There's that carburetor on it. There's a TX30, no, TX44, I would imagine. Let me have a look what it says. Yeah, I was correct. TF44. Where am I? Right, so there was some tyres up there. See, that's an alright one, but I found the other decent one that I like the look of is actually this one here. It needs a bit of a clean, but I think the algae has actually protected it somewhat, and I know it's not perfect, but if we give it a clean and give it a nice little coat of Vaseline, I'll clean it off, Vaseline it, that job's good enough. There is a couple more over there on John Deere. I'll show you, look, there's an old 865, look. You know, a very popular combine. I must admit, I worked on one of them one day. It blocked up. Straw there, wooden blocks from the straw walkers had cramped onto the shaft because they'd swollen up a bit. They'd sort of swollen in over time. Gripped the walkers, no grease nipples on them, just sort of gripped it. Walker slowed down, a bit more. until eventually all the straw was going back over the beater, and inside that combine was like a bale, like a really tightly packed bale as well. And we had to cut the back off the combine here. We had to see, in fact it might even be the same one, I don't know if it is. It looks like it is because we screwed it on. And it was at a place called Cropley where they have Cropley Fairport Convention, like a little folk festival. I remember if it's the same one, I remember you used to see it coming over the bridge with me and my mates in the field back in the day. I was only about 15, 16, you know, me and my mates prattling about. And cut the back off it, and I had to get all the straw walkers and all this kit out. Of course, I'd never worked on one of these before. The bloke I was working with, who was out with, and one of my first jobs at JMT it was, and we took everything came out the back through here, and then we had to refurbish we had to get everything running, basically get all the straw out of it, and 2 weeks it took us. Oh mate, and like no joke, we went pissing about like we were slaving away. Oh mate, these people come down the field, they're farmers, and they, yeah, but I don't want to be too horrible, but they come down and said, oh, do you know what, yeah, we're thinking of buying this. I went, okay. And they said, it's a lovely colour, isn't it? Oh yeah, well it's alright. It's okay, the colour's alright and that, but mate, please don't. Save yourself a lot of hassle and get like a New Holland or a Class. And yeah, that's just my opinion, sorry. I know people love these, but I have had bad experiences with them, and I think that changes everything. And yeah, so there you go. There's a Clayson 133 with a cab on it, and like I say, down there you can just see another Dominator and back end of a Massey 400 that I showed you a minute ago. The Mark Teverson loves Dominators. They were his like go-to machine, like for years. You know, they are nice combines, nice and simple, you know. And in fact, that's a Dominator 80, look. So that's one of the early ones. See, the Dominator 85 was sort of the one that was about for a long time in the 70s. Yeah, that's an 80, which was a predecessor. You had 100 as well, but from what I've heard, I don't think they were all that popular. I think that might be a 100 there actually, possibly. I'm not sure because I can't see the number on it. So this is a 965. Again, not a very popular machine, but just to add something, I like the colour of these. I don't know much about them, but I just like them. I think they look alright. I just like the styling of them. I remember when I was little, and just something about these combines, I used to like seeing them working. Just the shape of them and that. I know shape means nothing, and the colour really, but you know, it's the job they do. But yeah, just nice on. Do you know what? I wouldn't begrudge having one. Or the previous model, or the previous range, which was see, these known as a 900 series, you know, 965 and the 950s and all that. The previous range was they're called 30 series, so they were sort of, you had a 330 with a 3-cylinder, 430 probably with a 4-cylinder, then you had the 530 and the 630, and then not very common in this country, you had a 730. And yeah, I like them, man. I would, if I could find a tidy one, I would like to have one day. You know, just for the experience of having it. But right, I'll get back to work anyway. I'll just see if I can find you some more goodies before I go. There's some, there you go, there's another nice one. I think this one's a 940. See, look, there's a relatively new one. They all break down, it doesn't matter how old they are. You know, they broke down in the first season and set fire to themselves if they want to. I think this is the one with those other tyres. See, I like that. Look at tiny little wheels on it though. 940. I remember you used to see these at a place called Blisworth, local to me, like a little canal village, and there was one of these parked in the field there. But I think they are a little bit tinny. Well, they're all right, you know. I don't know. Don't know how well built they are. Class, I must admit, I love Gleaners, but that Europa I got looks to be a little bit better, a little bit stronger maybe. See, there you go, that's another one. See, that ain't too bad, but that one down there just seems better. I'm gonna have to double check. I'm just not sure about this crack here. It runs right round there, look. That other one doesn't seem to have it. I'm gonna have another double check. See, these are 1824, so you see that's what's on my C. Funnily enough, this is the same type of style, but it's 16924. I'm gonna get a header trailer as well. This one, hopefully. Please don't come and buy it before I get in. But I've got to measure the header for my 135, and I don't see that will actually work for the 135, so I want that one. So I've decided if I don't sell that 135, bloody thing takes up space and everything, but I am not going to let it defeat me, man. A combine ain't going to win. That combine is going to do a good job. Even if I had to spend a bit of money and a bit of hours doing it. You know, I'm not going to give up on it. It's going to be a good combine. And then when somebody buys it, they might say, that Richard Burnham, he's not a bad lad. He's not that bad after all. So yeah, I'll leave it with you. I'll catch up with you in a minute. I do need to download the app to add the videos together, so hopefully I'll do that later. But yeah, have a beautiful afternoon, and I'll see you again. Bye. No, what do you guess? 2 seconds later, and I found this old Dronenberg D1900, which is sort of like the predecessor to what basically the Masses became. Certainly mixed opinion on how good they really were. Some people love them, some people hate them. It's like these as well, 520. I think I know where this one comes from as well. It's a shame really, because it's a bloody nice combine. If it is the one, it was local to here. It was a nice combine, man. It was on a, like I say, it was the one I remember, not that long ago. It was used on a farm in a school. Immaculate thing it was, but it was still a massive 520. So there you go. Without saying too much, I think it had its Achilles heel. There you go. Some people love them. I mean, maybe someday one day love me, but there you go. Right. Yeah. See you in a minute. Yeah, I've realised I've never shown one of these before on my channel, so here's your time. It is an FX 300 New Holland, 4-wheel drive, I bet it is as well. Yeah, man. Okay, you don't see many 4-wheel drive combines in this country, do you? Really? There's not many. There's a bit thin on the ground. Yeah, I'll just show you again. It's I don't know much about them. I know they have a mechanism, metal detector in them. I don't know about this one, but generally they're a metal detector in them, because if a spanner or something metal goes in there, forget it. Combine, the forager's knackered. It's finished. Absolutely banjaxed. And they have a magnetic detector. Anything metal, bang, drive mechanism stops dead. But also, because it's a direct chop machine, I mean, most of you probably know all this stuff anyway, but it's just for those people who don't. It's a direct chop machine. It has precision chop, so every slice is like a pair of scissors at like thousands of RPM, and all that back end there is motor. I mean, that's the accelerator, a chopper and the accelerator, and they have a few other bits and pieces that add like chemicals in to decompose. They'll have a crimper and chemicals to decompose the crop as it shoots into the trailer, just maybe to make decent feed or silage. It's not something I've ever done or been involved in, but I know about it a little bit. But you put flipping horsepower of these things. You see, a combine, you can set them up, and in all fairness, they don't have to be completely perfect. They'll still cut. The quality of the finish might not be that good, but if you're just a farmer who basically has just got to feed his cattle, it's not that bad. It's obviously, if you're selling it to bread people and all that, they want a decent sample. But if you're just feeding your cattle, I'm sure you can get away with a little bit. And obviously, the drum doesn't actually touch the concave, it just runs past it and flattens the crop as it goes through. Whereas this is 100% accurate. There ain't no sort of, oh, that'll do. If you're saying that'll do, then the chances are it won't do, because it won't work, and you'll end up chewing the crop instead of cutting it. So it's effectively inside there where the rotor spins it's like a big lawnmower with a cylinder motor. You know, the old cylinder, you don't see them much anymore, but the precision chop cylinder motors, they use them on cricket pitches and stuff like that. They're fine cutters, and you can adjust the length of the chop. They're a pretty clever kit. But I tell you what, have you ever seen an old one? I haven't, anywhere. I see them maybe 20, 30 years old, but have you ever seen a really old one without a cab? I think I've seen a picture of one, a New Holland actually. But yeah, food for thought. I'll catch up with you in a little while, hopefully. Yeah, so have a beautiful day. There you go. Recam. Don't know what it is, but it's some kind of picker, collector, beat hat. I really don't know. Well, it's not a combine harvester in the true sense of the word, but it's I suppose the uneducated person could be mistaken to think it was. Do you know what? I've never seen one of them before. I haven't got a clue what it is, but it looks like it's prone to fire as much as anything else. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, some kind of soil machine, by the look of it, or maybe potatoes. Yeah, potato harvester, innit? I think. Well, let's have a look at these tyres here, see what's here. I don't think these will be suitable. Yeah, a bit too domineering. Oh, I remember them. I went to Fortson 500 back in the day, in the 90s. I'm sure many of us remember the 90s. They seemed like dream years, really, I suppose. But there you go, TF78. I suppose that was when the dream years were coming to an end with all the fibre optic cables and all that junk. But the TF78 was quite a thing when it came out. I remember it being there and standing on the back, and it had a V10 engine. You could walk around it. You could actually walk basically around it and get to everything. Yeah, man, that was amazing for me back in then. You know, people climbing up the back of it, they let you climb up the back of it, and you could like video record the whole show. Actually, it wasn't TF78, it was TF76. But it was still an impressive sight. It had a Mercedes, I'm sure it was a Mercedes V10. It was a hell of a thing to see back then. I mean, yeah, it's mad how far they've come now. I mean, but back then, that was like, but next level. And then the Lexan trumped it. And when the Lexan come out, Lexan 480, I remember seeing one of them on TV. I was like, flipping heck, look at that. And you think at the time, I think you always think, No, they'll never get more advanced than that, they can't. Well, they do. I mean, look at the size of them now. They're bigger and bigger and bigger all the time. They just manage it somehow. But then they've got a lot of other crap that to me, it all needs burning. The whole idea behind it is just absolute crap, really, for me personally. Like, they act as if it's going to save the planet, really. I think the planet needs saving for people like that. Sorry to be too political, but I'm sure most of you agree with me, to be honest. You wouldn't be watching this channel otherwise. Right, see you in a minute. What a lovely combine. That's probably going to India or Pakistan. It's such a shame. Lovely combines, man. It's really bad, but I suppose that's where they want them. So they're lovely combines, I think, anyway. So my mate Stuart, he hates them, but I mean, I think they're the most fantastic combines. And I mean, I love, obviously Gleaners are my #1, but these are one of the, you know, the pinnacle of combine harvesting. An 8070, the first combine I ever drove, an 8070. That's got a place in my heart. I'd love to have that. I just would, even if it was for a little while and I decided I didn't want it anymore. But at least I just had the experience of using one for a period of time. Brilliant machines. That's Alexa 600. That David Brown is part of the scenery. I think, I'll tell you what, that'd be a project as well, actually, because it's doable. It takes commitment though, because that is going to need work, but I've seen people do worse, you know. That's the amazing thing. The more and more I sort of do this kind of thing, the more I realise that actually my little projects, and they're not really that bad. They're pretty good. To me, when I look at them, I think, flipping heck, it's going to be a lot of work. But then I see other people do stuff and I think, flipping heck, how do they do it? What do they do? Do they stay up all night doing it? But yeah, I'm sure that was here when I was here 10 years ago, or I think it was 11 years ago, and I was working here for 5 years. I finished here 11 years ago. But there's this beauty here as well. Look at that. You could almost live in the cab on that, look. The size of the engine on it is that. Absolute flipping hoofer. I'm not sure about coolers really. I like them. I reckon I'd like, do you know what I'd like is a WM crawler, Alex Chalmers wide track. But I kind of like them, they're pretty cool. Just stems for child and just seeing them. I'd like to have one of them one day. I don't know why. I just think it'd be nice to use one. I think it's the kind of thing that I'd probably have for a little while and then find somebody else to use it, find somebody else to buy it. But it's just the experience of having it and using it and learning. It's a learning curve, isn't it, you know? You're learning about something. You know, it could be worse. I could be sat home flipping watching Emmerdale, and that'd be tragic, wouldn't it, really? Right, I've got a bottle jack. So I'm going to take the wheel, I'm going to lift it up and take the wheel off. Right, see you in a minute. Do you know what? I've actually quite come to like these Cheetos. There's a local shop that sells them, but they sell, like, occasionally sell the American ones. I've been to America, and American food is actually better generally because it's richer and it tastes nicer. unfortunately we've got a nanny state here, and they get involved in everything. Can't even eat what you want to eat. But these are really nice. But these aren't the American versions. But the American versions do come in. I know this has nothing to do with combines, but I thought I'd share it with you. They're very nice. It's a local off licence up in Banbury that I just happened to pop into one day and noticed they got quite a lot of good nice food that they import in from America and places like that. Anyway, there's the bottle jack. Gonna lift her up, got all the bolts off, all nuts off. So yeah, ready to go. I can see me getting covered in mud when I take it down there though, that's the problem. A little bit of mud never hurt anybody, I suppose. Well, unless you drown in it, of course. Right, I'll see you in a minute. Mate, for those of us who appreciate combines, there's a bit of historical greatness around here. I've already showed you the 1540. That's a shame that is, that they end up like that, because there's one of those in that Smith scrapyard as well without a cab. I'm not sure how beautiful they really were, but I mean, I certainly prefer the driving position to my 135. Steering column gets in the way a bit. It's a little bit annoying. I find that the elevator trunk isn't long enough. You're having to stoop down to look at the header, but it's a good combine, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not saying it too much. I do like it, and I'm determined to get it running right. If no one buys it, it's just got to, you know, I'm not just going to let it take a back seat. I'm not going to take a back seat with it. I can't. It's not right. You know, I got it. I'm going to put my head right with that one. But look at this. Gorland Dominators. Look, predominantly Dominators in here. Look, the 85s mainly. You know, some of them actually, there's Dominator 68 of their little thing, but they're not bad condition. Look at that. It's getting like a stink. The Dominator there. Oh look, I'll show you this. Look. There you go. Look. Look at that. A bit of proper farming history. Look, well, I reckon that's, like I say, I reckon that's a Canadian built 750. You know, I like them, man. Do you know what? I ain't in too bad nick for one of them. Yeah, considering it's been sat outside. This ain't in too much good nick, but you know, these are a well-loved combine. You know, the amount of people who love these, I think, generally, in my opinion, these were the 400 was basically the first sort of like modern combine, in a sense. Obviously it's not modern now, but it was the first combine that was ahead of its time, in a sense. It had extra stuff that the other combines at the time just did not have, and they will always be remembered for that. The old psychedelic swirl, so you can see the engine running. You know, that's what I recognise. You know, you've got a fixed header. These ones had a Sickle Pitman drive for the knife, I think, but the ones with the detachable header, according to John Leathers, the sort of go-to man really generally on a lot of this stuff. You know, Colin Cloud, Colin Clowder, trying to get his name right, but yeah, he's quite big on these as well. But apparently the detachable header ones, the early one, the lot 510s and the 515, 410, 415, they were available with a detachable header, which is I prefer personally. I like when I have to get the header off, because you can get around them a bit easier when you need to transport in, and that it makes them a bit lighter if you're going to move them about. But apparently they had a wobble box on them for driving the knife, and I think if you service them, they're alright. If you don't, but like I say, John didn't think that much to him, so he said. You know, he's obviously got experience with that. But there you go. I mean, you appreciate it for what it is, can't you? I mean, yeah, nice. It's such a shame, really, because, you know, people just don't appreciate them, do they? It's just a machine, and they just go, yeah, chuck it in the hedge. I don't care about it, but to me, I'd love to. You know, the potential that this machine had when it was packed up, really, as a nice old machine. Yeah, it's a shame. There's TF combine burnt out, and there's that Lexan 460 burnt out, and there's another 85 Dominator 85. I tell you what, you don't see many. There's the back of that recam thing, or whatever that is. You don't see many Dominator 100s. I don't think they were that easy to work on. I noticed one thing when I used to work on them. The 106s, so you got the 96 and the 86, 96, 106. 106 was a bit of a pain to work on because it was slightly wider. It came right into the inside of the wheels, so it was actually almost beneficial to take the wheels off when you were doing the work around the drum area and all the stuff like that. It just made your life a little bit easier. I'm going to take a photo of this one in a minute. But yeah, here's 750. And I'm dead certain this is the one that used to be sat in my mate's shed. Look at it. Oh mate, such a shame, look. Yeah. They have like paddles. Yeah, paddles that flat, like bolt onto here, and they don't have an elevator, which is quite a good idea actually, in a way. It never really caught on, but I think it's quite a good idea. It's like a burnt Yeti in there. Yeah. Oh mate, it's definitely the one, because I've never seen many with the red cab. Most of them are like a silver cab. Wait, that's a red one. Oh mate, if that's the one, I'm quite gutted, man, because I'd love to. I ain't got the space for it. I ain't got the time for it, because they're a bit of a pain to work on, I think. But there you go. There it is. The combine that I used to watch working when I was little. He actually used to have two. He had one with silver cab, and he had a couple of 525s. In fact, I remember watching them one day. 4 combines working in the field. This would have been about 1988, 89, and that's like distant memories to me, because I was only little. I was only a kid, and I was absolutely awe-inspired by watching these machines then. And yeah, I think this was one of the ones. It was only just down the road. You see it going up the hill, and in fact, I know the bloke who drove it. And yeah, well, yeah, amazing. So there you go. I'm going to take some photos now. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Don't know why, just to make note. Little forager header, little forager pickup. Yeah, man. There's something I wouldn't mind having a play about with as well one day, just for the experience, you know. I'm not really that interested in foragers. Like I say, I think I mentioned earlier when I was showing that one, I'm not sure if I mentioned or not, but generally, because they were direct cut, they were direct chop, they chop the crop, like perfectly slice it as it comes through, and they take a lot more horsepower to run than a combine, because combine doesn't have a direct chop. It only has a chopper in the back, and that's not like a slicer. It's not like scissors. So combines don't need as much horsepower, but I tell you what, I find them so much more interesting. Yeah, so that's that. I don't know if I showed you this already, but here you go. Show you again, just for good time's sake. There's an 865 loop. Yeah, and I think I know who that came from actually as well. Last thing I heard, the fellow who owns this place, he's got a nice one of these coming in, and I know people like them. It's quite a popular combine. I did actually say before, there's one coming in here with a load of spares and that. I don't know what's happened, whether they might have already sold it. This combine's selling quite well at the minute, because the price of the new ones are so high. People they're losing interest in getting new combines. If they, you know, the price has got to come down, you know, simple as that. They're getting ripped off left, right and centre, and it can't go on forever. people are just going to have to start making do what they got. And all these big businesses will go, hang on a minute, we can't charge this anymore, we've got to come down. And it's true, they do. It's ridiculous. Anyway, enough politics. There you go. That's the 865. Beautiful. And here's my new tyre that I'm getting. That's the one with that green on it. But I think that's about the best other one. That one down there that I've got a minute ago, that's the best one. But this is like basically looking at them and just having a look round them. Even though it's got all the green algae on it, I think in a way the green algae has actually protected it from the sunlight. So it's a little bit better. But yeah, pretty good. Better than the ones we got on the combine, and for the money we're paying, you know, you can't go wrong. Same pattern as the originals as well, you know. So it's all good. See you in a minute. There you go, top job, mission successful. We got some tyres, and like I say, they're not brand new, obviously. There is perishing on them, a bit. Yeah, but I'm just hoping they seem to be better. See, that one's good. We can always come and get another one if we need to. I know that one is not perfect, like where they were never going to be. They're second-hand tyres, you know. They're on old scrap combines, but the thing is, they're better than the ones we got. So, you know, it's just the way it is. And yeah, I spoke to him and he said, so, you know, I'm allowed to publish it just as long as I don't mention like where it is. So I won't. But yeah, been a good day. It took a little longer than I was hoping, but he's let us have the rims as well, so we can just take them home and just knock them off, and you know, the rims can do something else, you know. So I'm still looking for this snubber shaft bush. If anybody knows where you get them from, so that's the tail shaft on the gleaner. It comes out from under the radiator on the unloading auger side, and it drives the unloading auger belt. The belt sits sort of idle until you tighten it, and it unloads the tank. And it's got like 3 these are called snubber bushes apparently, and you know, they take the bounce out and stop it impacting into the engine. Just that little bit of rubber, but they, of course, they wear out. Look, so we're after them. AGK dude still making them. I ain't got the part number with me, stupidly, but I've got this so I can take the measurements and sort of like try and work out if I can get them or what I can do. There's quite a lot of people actually on Facebook that I put stuff on Facebook and they've been quite helpful. I haven't found an exact answer yet, and you know, I'm not completely stuck with it. I just want to try and get either the correct ones or the exact same thing basically, but it doesn't have to be an AGK one as long as it's the same. That's what I want to do really, but otherwise we just have to find a way around it somehow. And this all, you know, it's not like it's impossible to do. I mean, look at it, it's doable. So yeah, I will catch up with you later. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any more video today because I've got to go out. I'm going out for a meal tonight. My mum was 76 yesterday, or the day before. Thursday. So yeah, we're going out for a meal tonight. So I'm going to eat lots of food, and yeah, have a nice rest of the week, and hopefully I'll see you again at some point. I'm going to tractor shows either next week or the weekend after, down in Somerset, I think. My friend been feeling a bit down, so I'm going to take him there, just get him out of the area, get him something to do, you know. So yeah, have a good one. Goodbye.